The Journey to Fight for Women's Suffrage by Michael Morales. The right to vote was a right only for American white men. Women fought hard to be seen as equals to men from the 17th century to now. For every war, women step up to help in the war efforts during the American Revolution and the American Civil War, while putting their voices on hold. However, after all the wars ended, their needs and acceptance as equals are once again overlooked. Suffragists such as Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Alice Stone Blackwell stand out as champions for this movement. Their fight for equality expanded for years. The excuses for why women weren't allowed to vote were formulated through a social construct that white men are superior. That couldn't be farther from the truth. During the American Revolution, the roles of women were vital to the success of victory. In the writings of Mercy Otis Warren, she describes women's assistance to the revolt against England. Married women were encouraged to craft goods using American materials and avoiding the purchase of anything English. They were to follow the views of their husbands as well as maintain the household for the family. Single women who ran shops revolted against the Stamp Act of England by also trading American-made goods. They also were encouraged to call out anyone who weren't for the revolt out of fear from England. With all their effort in helping, however, their voices weren't allowed in the politics that could help shape the country and therefore weren't allowed to vote. In the 19th century, activists became vocal about equal rights again. With the rise of industrial America, poor children and women worked in factories and textiles in order to help their husbands provide for the family. The fight for change grew more with the help of suffragists Elizabeth Cady Stanton, who fought for the rights of women to vote in 1848. Elizabeth Cady Stanton addresses women's rights and proposes suffrage by demonstrating why the idea that they don't get the same rights as men is foolish. She points out that intellectually there is no fair ground to determine that. Morally, men are inferior to women, and physicality shouldn't be a determining factor for superiority. Stanton quotes, "The perfection of the physique is great power combined with endurance. Now your strongest men are not always the tallest men, nor the broadest, nor the most corpulent, but very often the small man who is well built, tightly put together, and possessed of an indomitable will." Between the late 19th century and early 20th century, the fight for women's suffrage started to come around. Slowly but surely, with the help of women like Alice Stone Blackwell, saw a change for women's suffrage throughout the United States. The reasons why women should vote are the same as the reasons why men should vote, are the same as the reasons for having a republic rather than a monarchy. It is fair and right that the people who must obey the laws should have a choice in choosing the lawmakers, and that those who must pay the taxes should have a voice as to the amount of the tax, and the way in which the money shall be spent. She goes on to point out the false ideas that chivalry should be destroyed. Women are too emotional and sentimental to be trusted in a ballot box, and that it would unsex women, turning them into men. She counters these ideas saying suffrage is a branch of feminism, which is the removal of all artificial barriers to the physical, mental, moral, and economic development of the female half of the race. With all these arguments fighting against a logical thought that women aren't equals and have no place in voting, lasted as long as it did is truly a wonder that we get to live in a world where women's voices are heard just as clear as men. But as far as we have come in America, it seems we still have a bit of a ways to go before we see a woman president. We have women in high positions in the branches of government, but not enough to show that we have reached full equality. Still, the efforts of all women between the 17th to the 21st centuries was not in vain. While we see a positive change for gender equality has come, there's still enough of inequality that is affecting our nation's growth. With the hard work and sacrifices of these women, we might never have seen the silver lining of a better tomorrow. Thanks for listening.